So this is the connection for the Weehoo trailer. This is the part that Sawyer is going to be riding in the trailer part, and that's also why I don't want to drill holes in this. Originally, this is the main controller unit for the motor. This is an electric motor that is a pedal assisted motor to get them up hills and things like that. So this is the controller unit for that, and you can see that it's tethered. It's a permanently wired connection here. So it has to be mounted to this bar forward enough that there's enough slack, but far enough back that it won't hit the seat. Because in addition to swinging outward in both directions, the trailer also has to be able to compensate for changes in elevation. So it will go up and down, and we don't want it to get cracked on the back of the seat. So this piece right here is actually a channel that the battery mounts on. If you look at the underside of the battery, you can see that there's this channel, and these grooves that are right here slide along this rail. So this has to be mounted very flush, and it just slides on here. So if there's any kind of bow or kink in this, like if it's at all bowed, this will bind, and then the battery won't be able to connect. So this is a 7-pound battery. So one of the biggest concerns is that when this is mounted, that it can't swivel. We don't want it to fall off either side, because once it starts to go, it's going to go all the way, and we also don't want that much weight pulling on this, because it would probably damage the cabling, and this is some pretty expensive cabling. So the other problem is, if you look underneath here, you can see from the front of this, the way that the wires are mounted, this is a downward facing and this is grommeted underneath. Originally this is supposed to be mounted on a bar that doesn't have any kind of anything impeding it in the front. So to mount it on this, we actually need to have some kind of space here. But again, we don't want to go too high, because it'll impact how this hits. So ultimately what needs to happen is we want to try to get this a little bit off the bar, as level as possible, as stable as possible, without drilling holes in this. So somehow we have to get a clamp, build some kind of a platform that this can be screwed into, and ideally what we want is for this to be able to quickly disconnect from this bar. The reason is because when they pull in their driveway, when this trailer gets disconnected by this bolt right here, this has no quick disconnect. So basically this all stays together as part of this wiring. So we want to be able to pop this off somehow, and maybe leave the attachment points on here so they can come back and find a way to pop it back in again. So I haven't been able to come up with a way to do that. So I said, it is a bit of an engineering feat and also a mechanical feat. And just looking forward to seeing if you guys can come up with any solution that could make this work. This is the last piece of the puzzle that we're waiting for to make this delivery. So thank you very much for any help you can provide.